Well, I wish I could give you the tea, but mine's just a little bit tart, and that's why it's called Leah's Lemonade. And Lemonade Stand, let me tell you, I'm real excited because I was a 3LW Cheetah Girl stan, okay? So the one and only Kiely Williams is here. Welcome to the Lemonade Stand. I'm so excited to have you.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, I'm so excited because, again, I was that girl doing the routine. I mean, I can do all of the Cheetah Girl dances, all of the ad-libs, watch the movies back and forth, do the lines. And one of the things that I feel like people don't talk about enough with the Cheetah Girls, and they don't give you particularly enough credit for, was the fact that Aqua had hot sauce in her bag before Beyonce did.
When that came out, I was really excited. I got to share my little clip of Aquanetta Walker being like, check the label, stars the read or stars,
Her.
So
exactly.
It's a Houston thing. Aquanetta, she is from Houston, so
yep.
she had.
Yes, I was like, "Ooh, Cheetah Girls, hold that." I was like, let's take it back to Disney Channel. But yes, no, I was a huge fan. So I'm excited to talk to you about everything that you got going on, including the Encore on BET, because honey, you shake the tables.
I don't even mean to.
You don't mean to? Let's talk about it.
It's an accident, I think. No, you know what it is? A lot of it, I'm not going to blame the editors. They're messy. That's their job. They're cute. But I just say the truth. I mean, and everybody's talking to each other. We're all in this house together. And so it's like, oh, she's talking shit. And I'm sorry if I can't curse. I'm like, oh, she's talking. And I'm like, we're all talking. We're all talking. What is the problem? And I think that one of the things that just confuses people is when people start yelling, I don't. And so they're like, oh, see, she just shut up as soon as she started coming for her. And it's like, no, I'm just not going to argue with you. I said what I said. You heard it.
Yes, we're past the arguing stage of our lives.
I am.
I'm not mad at that. One thing I will say in your defense for this show, because I definitely think you are the villain of the house.
Yay!
I'll put it out there. Well, you and the twins are actually kind of even, but they
say the three of us. Well, they're like, nah, this is new. She's like, this hits different. I was like, I told you it was gonna hit different.
Yeah,
I told you it hits different when Black Twitter comes for you. But I'm used to it.
that you are. Now let's discuss, because one thing I will say, and you said this on episode 3, is you were like, 1 minute they're calling me a bitch, the next minute they're trying to be my friend. The energy shifts so frequently in this house, and y'all were there for 30 days. So discuss to me your headspace when you're in this house. It's utter confusion. You're trying to make an album. First of all, it's already hard to collaboratively work with 9 individuals anyway. But then you're tasked with making this album, this project, this performance. 3 people, 3 songs, everyone has to be on. I mean, what were your emotions like?
Well, in the beginning, they were very up and down, just because, yes, I'm a Cancer. I thrive on consistency and stability, and that inconsistency was it was messing with my head. But I turned a corner, once I kind of got the handle of people and just saw how they operated and saw, what was what. Then I really just kind of honed in on just trying to, as much as I could, keep the women focused on the end goal and not so much on the bull. A lot of it doesn't get shown, which is sad, but I think in the end, it will all pay off, and everybody just has to stay tuned because this show takes a lot of twists and turns.
Well, the teaser for next week, we saw Aubrey leave her whole bed out y'all's room. So I imagine it having a lot of twists and turns.
That was a funny night, man. That was funny.
See, you and Nivea take everything on the chin, because Nivea don't take none of y'all seriously.
She doesn't. She doesn't take any. Well, she eventually does. Not to give too much away, but she does not just let everything roll off her back. She'll take it till stop. She is a grown woman. And that's the thing. For me coming in, I knew these women weren't gonna want to be told what to do. They weren't gonna want a boss, or so all that The queen needs to have order. No, she's not going to have it. No queen is going to have order because none of these women need to be told what to do. What they need is somebody to support them, somebody to help get their, like, you know, insecurities in check and get their drive back if they need it, but not to be told what to do, not to be told a vision. They need to manifest that themselves, I felt, and them coming together as a group, you have to let that happen naturally. You can't just put it on them.
Right. And speaking of this, because this is the question that I'm sure Black Twitter has asked you the most, why the hell did you come to the house if you didn't want to be in the group?
Because that was my job.
You said, so wait, when you were...
I didn't make it up in the car. Come on. Like...
No, so wait, when they reached out to you about being in this group, you literally told them, I will come, but I will not be a part of the group. Yes. I will creative direct.
Yes.
I'm assuming they didn't tell the other girls just to stir the pot.
No, they didn't. And I knew that they weren't going to tell the other girls. So I knew that that was going to be like a thing. But, you know, like, whatever. My whole thing was, like, in my opinion, I was like, okay, look, we have awesome talent. This didn't get shown, but, like, we have awesome talent in this house. Fallon and Felicia are songwriters and producers. I do this. Aubrey also does this. Like, we could work together on it. Everybody has their little things that they can do to make this work.
Right.
But it just ended up being, I mean, it ends up being what it is, but I'm happy with the outcome. I think that the music is amazing and it was such a good experience just to get to know all of the women. It taught me a lot about myself, about girl groups, and I think you guys are going to enjoy the ride with us.
Well, and speaking of girl groups, like, you know, obviously you've had your fair share of running into girl groups. And I always wanted to know this. You have a daughter.
Yes.
Would you allow your daughter to be in a girl group?
Never. No.
So she's
in entertainment until she's out of the house. Like, no, girl, you're going to have to, like, fully get your life together and I'm not responsible anymore. Like, then you can go off and do that because it's such a tumultuous business. And as much as I love the entertainment industry, it's really hard to be a product. And that's what artists are. You're selling yourself, you're a product, and that can really mess with your head. And so I definitely think that I would discourage anything like that until she just has more of a sense of self and isn't young and, you know, has a good head on her shoulders before she enters that business because it can mess you up.
Yeah. And that makes sense because again, you walked and lived it. And I also saw in another interview that you said at the beginning of your career, you actually did not want to do entertainment. Mm-hmm. So if we could go back and young Keely could have really had her way and avoided the entertainment industry altogether, what do you think you would be doing right now?
I can't even think about that. You know why? Because I live by the saying that you can't tear out a single page in the story of your life, but you can throw the whole book in the fire. So I feel like everything that I've done in my life has led me to having my husband, my daughter, like this house that I live in, the life that I live, everything has led up to that. So I can't change a thing. I can't. I mean, I wouldn't take back one day because it might mess with the stars in some way. And I am ridiculously blessed with my family and my life. So
yes, well, that's
not taking anything back.
Listen, I mean, and you've had quite a journey and you've had your own run of success. So, you know, listen, I'm not mad. I benefited as a child from it. Okay. I was here for it. I was here for all of it.
The best thing to hear, honestly, it's the best compliment you can ever get is when somebody tells you, like, you were a part of my childhood. Like you know, I mean, that's so rewarding. It's so, I can't think of any better compliment than that.
Yeah, you were. And like when I think of millennials, especially, you know, your groups molded us. Like we wanted to be you all. So, I mean, you know, shout out to you and your contribution to, you know, that era. Okay. No, oh my God, I have to ask you this. Okay. I know right now, 3LW, I know you guys really don't talk, but if Tim and Swiss came to you guys and said they wanted to do a Verzuz, what do you consider a Verzuz?
No.
The young 3LW fan of me just died a little bit.
I'm sorry. I don't want to make it people sad, but like, you know, there's just so much that's been said, so much that's been done. And I just feel like I'm in a very different place in my life right now. I know the other women are in different places in theirs, and they're thriving in their careers outside of music. And I want that to continue for them. I'm happy for everyone's success. I'm really happy with what I'm doing. I didn't think I was going to come out of retirement. I was really happy being a wife and mom. So in that sense, you can never say never, but I'm very focused right now on the Encore. And obviously last night you heard the group has a name, Blueprint. So I'm very focused and really dedicated to this venture. And, we got, I think 6 more episodes. So there is a lot more happening.
There's a lot more to see.
Woo, girl.
No, I'm just saying, I'll put it out there. If you do no more and do promises, it's gonna break the internet, sis.
I'll do a versus if it's like 3LW against the Cheetah Girls, so I can be on both sides.
Ooh. Listen. After Bow Wow, right? When I was just a little girl, my mama used to no more, baby. I'd be here for it. My life would be got. Okay. Keely, don't tease me. Don't tease me with a good time, okay? I was a stan, okay? I probably remember the dances more than you, and you learned it. Seriously, I
still practice our choreography. I gotta keep myself sharp.
I was gonna say no, but we could tell on the show because you was like.
You got to know when you need to pull it out. You got to keep stuff in your back pocket. You got to surprise people every now and then.
Oh no, I'm not even gonna lie. I was a little shocked on Encore when you started to get it. I was like, oh, Keely said maybe don't sleep. Don't sleep. I've been working.
Yeah, I dance all the time. When you're working with artists and stuff, and I love it when they complain. And I'm like, if I can get my big ass up here and do this, then you can too. So stop complaining. Let's do it again. So that's what I've always been dancing. I love to dance. I think it's just it's a great form of exercise and it's fun. And I'm a big fan of the mirror, which is why I didn't think I was ever like a good like performer, because like I didn't get that feeling like when the crowd is screaming your name and you get this like feeling of exhilaration. I'm more like dance rehearsal where I could look at myself because I'm vain. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm the performer that not everybody, but some people will make me out to be. I think, I was just well trained. Jamaica did a great job on me.
I'm crying. Well, listen, I ate it all the way up, okay? Now, listen, I got to ask you about the Promiseth, because I know you said that basically there was an error with the editing software that you guys used on that song, and it was either your notes be, on pitch.
Crazy.
Or you have a lisp. So, that like maybe about 5 years ago, it resurfaced online. So I know you're at home minding your damn business, haven't been in the news, and then all of a sudden this goes viral.
Yeah, I just see a bunch of people like putting Sharpie in between their teeth. And just like, okay, like I think, the amazing thing to me is that 20 years later, it's still impactful, that people still remember that line, from the song. I think that that's amazing. Like I said, I don't have a lisp. So when people like call me lispy or make fun of me or something like that, it doesn't hurt my feelings, but I do think it's not cool to make fun of people with speech impediments, because if you really do have one, you do struggle with it. Right. So I don't like that, like, it gets clumped in with that, because when I'm laughing off the joke about me, I don't want it to seem like I'm encouraging others to make fun of other people's speech impediments.
Right.
It's tough. It's a thin line, because you have to be able to laugh at yourself, right? Like, it does sound like I have a lisp. Like, I'm not going to walk around and be like, no, it doesn't. I don't have a lisp. I don't have a lisp, but I could hear. It sounds
right. Right. Did you catch it when that played? Like, were you like, y'all, this sounds crazy? Or it took
well, I didn't know which way was up or down. I had never been in a studio like that. I grew up in a studio, but never like me having to like do it, like, so I was 12. I was doing whatever my mother told me to do. And she was like, it sounds fine. And I was like, okay.
And then, right, because be clear, the song came out, nobody said anything. It wasn't until like 5 years ago that the internet even brought up the list. Then I was like, wow. But I'm not even going to hold you until I watched the recent interview where you were like, I don't even have a list. So I was like, you know what? This girl never had a list. But I always knew it was.
They'll watch 3 movies of the Cheetah Girls, the House Bunny. I mean, I didn't speak a lot and I had an English accent, but like they'll watch all of this stuff, right? And hear me not have a lisp, but still like they won't let it go. Like it's like the lisp turns on when I say promises. I don't know. That's what they think.
And then you even on the Encore did it in the booth.
Yeah.
Have we ever heard you perform it without the S? Yes, we've heard you. I'm being a troll. But at the end of the day, I thought it was hilarious because I was like, you know what? I've watched this girl's movies more times than I can count on fingers and toes. And I could have sworn she had a list until we it just
like that Mandela syndrome. Like you just convincing.
Yes. I had literally convinced myself. And then when it came back like 5 years ago, I was like, well, damn, she did have a list. Yes, anyway. One of the things that did make my childhood heart happy to see is you and Raven getting together and talking out your differences. And I'm glad you guys decided to do it publicly because while, obviously a lot of things get solved or go up in flames behind closed doors, I think, as fans who watched the group and kind of watched the group separate, we all were like, this is nice. And you guys both handled it maturely. You guys both talked it out. And, I think you guys both left with an understanding. Who was the person who actually DM'd each other? Was it you reaching out to her? Was it her reaching out to you?
Raven actually hit me up because it was during that time there was like rumors and weird stuff coming out, and I was like, whoa, where is this coming from? I would never out anybody. Like I would never do anything like that. And so Raven hit me up and was like, thank you. Like she was like, I didn't think, like I wasn't believing the rumors, but thank you for like speaking up on it. And I was like, yeah, I would never, like, despite whatever. And she was like, let's go live and just talk about it because people think, there's a lot more drama and like the fist fights and all this crazy stuff that never happened in the Cheetah Girls. That was like ultimate professionalism. Maybe people had their like feelings, but we were very, very much professional, kept it very cute on set. Nobody was yelling, screaming, getting crazy. Right. I was not called a two-faced bitch or to shut the fuck up. Those things, that you encounter in a normal work day. So it was good to talk to her about that just to kind of clear the air, but also for other people to kind of see that, like, it's not beef just because people maybe have drifted apart, aren't friends, or aren't like close. And like, I know everybody has those expectations because they see the movies that we're going to be the sisterhood forever, but it can still be like this mutual respect. And I think that was what was so good about seeing the live was like, at the end of it, it wasn't like, okay, love you, honey. Right. It was like, okay, girl, I see you. And so when I see you next time I see you, it's going to be like, what's up?
Right.
That is healthy and natural and not fake. And I love that we were able to show people that that's okay.
Right. Well, and another viral moment that you spurred is when Raven hung up the live when you got off. That laugh. What was going through your mind?
I didn't see it until later. So because like obviously like I got off the live and then I just like got off and was dealing, my baby was all over me. She was being crazy that day.
Right.
So I didn't see it until later. I mean, I kind of felt like I wish it was my live because then I could have had like my little laugh or whatever.
Right.
Right. But like it's okay. None of that stuff bothers me. Like, none of that stuff bothers me. And when people like, they're going to take it however they want to take it. If they take it as like, that was just uncomfortable and she was nervous laughing, or if they're taking it like, oh, she hates that bitch, blah, blah, blah. They're going to take it however they want,
Yeah. And it's about y'all's understanding. It really ain't like, while y'all gave us the, opportunity to watch, it was really about y'all's reconciliation and understanding. Yeah. Importantly. This is one thing I do want to ask you, and maybe Raven can answer this better than you can, but one thing that I remember as a child, I loved Raven because she was not a a very skinny girl. She wasn't a big girl either, let's be clear. But one of the rumors about the Cheetah Girls, about her in general and her time on Disney Channel was about her weight or her being too big. When you were in the Cheetah Girls, did you ever hear anybody like criticizing her weight or maybe telling her to slim down? Because I heard that rumor for a very long time, that was why Raven, and she was an it girl of Disney. Like everyone who watched loved her.
Yeah. I never heard anything like that personally. However, I know that Disney has some real crazy standards and practices on like what they want to see, the images they want to put out. So I have no idea what kind of conversations were going on without me. And again, like we were not the bosses of the Cheetah Girls. Like we just worked there, the three of us. And Raven was our executive producer. She was Raven. I'm sure she had more conversations with the high ups at Disney than we ever did. And they wouldn't talk to us about her like that. So I don't know, but I do know that I think it was incredibly unfair if they did put those kind of limitations on her, because especially for kids, it should be about body positivity and being healthy and not about conforming to some sort of specific standard of body image.
Right.
That did happen. That's terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the things I always wondered, because I always felt like as a child growing up, I was a Raven stan, and I just always felt like when we started to hear those rumors that that's what it was about, I was like, that's unfortunate, because y'all are missing the opportunity. Like, let's be clear, there wasn't a Lizzo growing up. You know what I mean? There wasn't a girl that looked like everybody type. And so Raven was that for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Me as a young plus size girl. So when we saw her in these groups, and then like all of a sudden it just was like Raven slowly drifted off. And obviously there's always more to the story, and I'm sure you know that better than anybody. But I just always wondered if you guys ever were in that position to see any of that criticism.
No, we never saw anything. I can't say, let me not say we. I'm so used to girl groups, I use a royal we. But I never saw anything like that. I mean, Raven and I tutored together because we were the same age. So we were in like tutoring during, during rehearsal, during shooting, all that stuff. So I spent a lot of time with Raven.
Right.
And I never saw anybody like come up to her and tell her anything about herself like that. She was very, in my opinion, like comfortable in her skin. But again, you never know what's underneath. Yeah. And that's really what was so revealing about our conversation. In my mind, I'm thinking she's like up here and she's like, wait, I want to be with y'all. And like, so it was like this crazy disconnect, because I was always thinking like, you're Raven, like,
right,
you have everything, but you never know what somebody's going through internally. And I think that really humanizes her. And I think people got to see a different side of her, and I'm glad she shared it.
Absolutely. One of the things Raven said in the live that made me laugh was, she was like, Keely, you're a shit starter. And you were like, I am, but I wasn't aware until I got older. And so when you watched this show, people said, Keely, what are you here for? Just to start shit? And so when you look at those situations, or when you're watching this show back, do you look back at any moments and you're like, shouldn't have did that, or maybe shouldn't have said that?
No. I don't. She said I was a fire starter.
Fire starter, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Same diff, basically. But I don't think that I am in a negative connotation. I think I challenge people. I think I've been called polarizing. Not my favorite descriptive word, but okay. But I do think I challenge people. I do think that I'm certainly not going to let people get like mind fucked. And there was a lot of that going on in that house. So I was very vocal with the women about it. Like stuff that I found unacceptable, things that I didn't find to be fair or true, or things that I felt like were manipulation. I did talk to the women about that, just because it was really important for me that they kept a level head as best as they could, even in these circumstances. And I felt like a lot of the time they were being worked on.
Got it. Okay. And then my last question, because I know you got to go, is what was it like to work with the king of reality TV, Carlos, and also why reality TV being your first kind of thrust back into
Carlos. Because of Carlos. I've known Carlos for like 7 years. I adore him. I admire him so much. I love his hustle. I love his grind. I like that he creates reality television that is messy, but it's not dirty. It doesn't ever go to blows. It's not, I mean, yes, there's arguing, but arguing is natural. You know, it doesn't go too far. And so I really do respect that about him. And so when he called, I was like, baby, I'll do anything you want for a price.
Ooh. I know that's right. Period. Well, Keely, thank you so much for your open and honestness on this interview. Again, I'm a big fan of all of your work. So, you know, thank you for your contributions to my childhood. Lemonade stand, grab a cup, throw it back, and sip on all of that.
Thank you so much. Watch BET Presents the Encore every Wednesday at 10. Hey guys, it's Keely from BET Presents the Encore, and you're watching Leah's Lemonade.